Nope. Nope. I'm not gonna do it. No. I'm not gonna. This keyboard is bloody fantastic. Oh. Hey guys, welcome back. Hardware Hound here, and today we have another keyboard to review. And in case you were wondering, just remember guys, I am a dad. I do have 3 kids now. So we have a keyboard to look at today from a company named Bloody. And, you know, as morbid as that sounds, it's actually meant to say that, hey, they have gaming blood running in their veins. Maybe that doesn't help a whole lot with the whole morbid vibe, but one thing that I do appreciate is that they have a keyboard that's designed to really help your reaction times in gamings. We're talking about optical switches. Now, we've already gotten to cover optical switches a little bit, but Bloody actually markets their switches very heavily to give you a gaming edge. And so here we have the B975. And this guy is meant to make your key latency go to practically 0. They claim that a typical mechanical switch is going to have close to a 25 or 30 ms latency in it that this keyboard doesn't have. That's going to be interesting, and we need to see how it measures up. We'll take a closer look at the board. We'll kind of go through some software. We'll talk about how this guy goes into gaming. We'll give this guy an award and try to determine, hey, is it going to be as good of a gaming keyboard as Bloody claims it's going to be? Okay, guys, let's take a closer look at this Bloody keyboard. So, anyway, we have a really sharp-looking device here. So let's point out a couple of things that are really interesting. Obviously, we've got kind of a aluminum feel panel here. Not super thick. This keyboard's not going to feel as heavy and as solid as some, but it's not cheap and flimsy either. It's kind of feels somewhat in between, but not to the point of feeling bad. So that's nice. I like the addition of the silver logo here. So as you can see, we've got, I've already customized this guy just a little bit. We have a wrist rest that is detachable. This raised part right here is actually removable, and we're going to look at the screws here, but you can actually change it, and if you prefer to go with something red on the keyboard, you can screw in the red one. So now that I've mentioned that, well, before I go flip it over, so keep that in mind. Let's talk about how I've got these different keys here. So Bloody includes a nice little ring here, and as you can see, it's just a really simple key puller. You just, snap it on, pull your key right off. There you go, done and done. But I went ahead and did a customization on this because I play a lot of Battle Right. And so Battle Right is kind of a top-down arena brawler game. You use WASD to move, so I highlighted that here. And then your special abilities, you actually have abilities tagged to Q, E, and the space bar. Your Z button will do like a mount, speed up and stuff. But your special abilities are R and F. So as you can see, I was able to use some of the different, they give you a lot of these key options, all covering this left hand for gaming. So you could do like Q, W, E, R, and D, F, or something like that for like a game of League of Legends, or, Dota 2 or whatever. So they give you these keys so you can highlight it, and I actually do kind of like that because it's a visual cue of where my hand goes. Although I am pretty used to the little tab on the F and J keys, I like that little bit of a visual since I play a lot of that Battle Right. So yeah, neat little feature there. Let's go ahead and flip this guy around real quick and take a look at that backside. So we've got rubber feet on the keyboard. I always raise my keyboard, that's always comfortable for me. But that's just something, it's not quite rubber, it's maybe a little bit more plasticky, but it holds good. So one of the other things that I like that Bloody did is, as you can see here, they actually give you screws to screw in this wrist rest. So that way, if you're like picking up your keyboard moving around, like, you know, maybe I am right now, it doesn't just fall off. And you would think, well, I'm gonna put my keyboard down, I'm not gonna move it. But it's amazing how much you just pick it up and slide it and move it around, and all of a sudden your wrist rest falls off if it's just clipped in there and it isn't very sturdy. So yeah, and there's 2 screws here on the bottom if you want to swap out and, you know, go to that red wrist rest. So yeah, there's a quick little overview of what this guy looks like. It's a pretty solid looking keyboard. It's not going to be quite as tank-like as some, but it's pretty darn solid all around, and it's definitely good quality. Now let's talk about the software, and I'm going to go ahead and overlay some screenshots this time instead of trying to record the monitor, but I am going to keep messing with it. So the first page here talks about Ultracore, and it's kind of, and it's got like a visit the shop in that. It's kind of probably more of a like an advertising page because it doesn't seem to do much. So we'll go ahead and move on to the button. Now the button, very typical. You can click on a key and you can decide what that key is going to do. And if you click on the button, you can choose different, they've got words like key, hint, and stuff. And some of this is kind of confusing. So it's just something where I feel like the software looks very advanced, like it can do a lot, but it's not super intuitive. If we go to the RGB animation, they're going to show you a bunch of preset profiles. And so if you hold function and press any of the keys, you can start going to the various different preset profiles. So like here, I've got a solid red color on 1, 2, solid green, blue. This is a little bit of a rainbow, but nothing moving. There's no color cycling. We got a breathing effect. You know, there we go. 6, 7. We've got this little bit of a color changing like kind of wave going, and as you hit keys, it shoots out from the key point. So it's kind of like a splash effect. So going on to 8, we've got like a crawl going on across the keyboard. So as you can see, as I'm hitting different keys, it's going from that point where I hit the key and going across the keyboard. So that's kind of fun. Function 9. There's where I was before. I always love a rainbow type spectrum wave or whatever they call this. They call it a wave, but well, that's kind of different. And then 0, we're kind of back to this blue color that maybe just a solid. Well, it says swallow animation, not really sure. So yeah, those are the presets. Once you click on RGB animation, you can change it. The first screen has multiple slides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can change each slide to determine how the animation effect is going to look, and you can do it one at a time. There's 20 of these slides right there to change. So you can do a 20-step phase of your own color pattern. You can get really creative with that. Of course, then you can go to full color, and no, I don't want to save it. And so then it'll just do whatever color you want to individually set. For instance, if I press my keyboard and click on it, and I've got the red color selected, it's going to turn it red, red. I can turn 5 here to red, so on and so forth. And we're going to save that. And then key color, this is just like a solid color, and it's going to just let me pick a specific color for the, looks like the whole keyboard, but it's just a little bit different than some of the other ones. So I'm not going to go too much more in detail on it. We'll just go back to our little animation here and close out. So there's a quick little overview of that. I'm not going to spend too much time on the software because it's a little complicated and I want to get to other things. Finally, I've got the macros. Once again, we've got files, saves, you can record. You have to save each file name. Pretty straightforward, but not as easy to use as some macro softwares, but it definitely gives you a lot of options. Then we have the actual super combo, which is like the Ultra Core. And the super combo, Ultra Core, it's gonna let you set a kind of combo repeatable actions. So you can do like the A action, which is a single combo command. You press it and it'll do all that automatically. You can do a repetitive attack with the B option. The C option, you can do an auto attack and auto run type combo. So these are things that I've never played with because the type of gaming I do, there's nothing repetitive enough that I could count on it with varying circumstances. But I could see some of this being really useful, rating and stuff like that. And then finally, if we get to the About screen, we'll see a little information about the company. So that's it there for the software and whatnot. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about gaming performance, and then we can wrap this review up. So guys, I almost forgot to mention, there's one other thing that Bloody is claiming. His keyboard's water resistant. There's only one way to find out. I've never done this before. Not on purpose anyway. I'm gonna get this away from the rest of my stuff. All right. Okay. Guys, that's about as real as it gets right there. I mean, not getting any weird mistypes. Oops. Of course, I hit enter and Google doesn't like all that mess that I typed, but I think we can call that. Make sure. Just be like, yeah, I'm calling it water resistant. Alrighty, so gaming, we really know exactly what we're looking for now. We've done enough reviews of keyboards that it's really simple. How does it feel? And does it feel like it's going to give you an edge? Optical switches are strange. So I spent a long time in a battle right training ground where I just consciously attacked dummies and tried to feel the reaction time. And I couldn't, between this and a normal mechanical switch, that's just normal electrical connection, that's not the interruption of the light, it was hard to tell. Like, I felt like I could tell a little bit of a fast reaction time, but I mean, you're talking about stuff that's really hard to confirm without some special way to measure it. Now that said, there was something I noticed though. These optical switches feel consistent. I would do things like, for instance, I play Rukan on Battlerite and he has a Sinister Strike. It's a jump move on the space. I'd just be hitting that. And every time it was just bam, 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 he jumps. Every once in a while on my other mechanical switch keyboard that I was comparing against, there would just be like a pause, like a delay, like a stutter, like the keyboard itself stuttered. Now here's the thing, I could blame the Arena, except I had both keyboards plugged in at the same time, and it was only on the mechanical switch where I'd get that weird stutter sometimes where it was just kind of like, ugh, and then he would jump. I think these optical switches are more consistent than mechanical. Because of the light signal and how they're designed, they seem to be more consistently accurate with the key press than mechanical. Could be imagine it, I don't know. But when I got into actual rounds playing ranked and stuff, yes, these optical switches feel like they give me just ever so slight of an edge. Reaction times and stuff that I wouldn't normally have just seem to click into place. I'm hitting skill shots a little bit. And because this Bloody has that lower actuation point, I feel like they nailed it perfectly. Any less, and you would have a lot of misclicks, I would think, unless you were just a really pro gamer. I really like where they put the actuation point. Feels great for those of us who are a little more casual competitive players, but not so sensitive that we're always misclicking it when we're not used to playing games every day. So I really like optical switches. I think they are the real deal. I do also think though that if you're not into competitive gaming, I wouldn't worry about it as much. But for competitive gaming, this kind of Bloody's got a great gaming keyboard. I would definitely highly recommend it. Typing, as always, linear switch, you know, no clicking, no tactile feedback. Doesn't feel quite as good to me. That's always my preference. Maybe you're a little different, but I always prefer a tactile or some kind of bump, which they do have an option for that with their keyboard switches. But gaming, the linear switch is great, very smooth, very fast reaction. Excellent job. Let's go ahead now, give this keyboard an award, wrap up this review. So guys, I think we've proven that Bloody has done a really great job on their keyboard. I mean, not only does the light strike optical switches actually seem like a legit claim, but it poured water all over that keyboard and it just did fine. That's really, really impressive. And so, yeah, I'm gonna admit, this is probably more geared towards competitive online type gamers. You know, you're playing your Overwatch, your League of Legends, your Battlerite, so on and so forth. But they live up to their claims. They've got a really good quality keyboard. Water resistance is fantastic for that accidental spill. When we look at the price tag, we're looking at $150 and readily available on Amazon. And $150 is a pretty steep price for a keyboard in general, but it's not too bad overall. We have a state-of-the-art feature, and even if you're not into competitive gaming, the fact that you've got a keyboard that you can spill something on and you're not gonna kill it, that's pretty valuable to anybody. I'm gonna go ahead and give the Bloody B975 gaming keyboard a Pure Overclock Editor's Choice Award. It's not gonna be quite a must-have because it is a little bit pricey, but there's nothing wrong with it. And if you're a competitive gamer, you need to be probably looking at an optical switch. Optical switches are gonna be great for you. If you're not into competitive gaming, it's a little bit hard to really recommend it, but I love that water resistance. That might have been the most fun I've ever had on a review. What can I say, guys? They're bloody fantastic. Anyway, like and subscribe if you want to. I hope this review is helpful, and I will catch you later.